You come back to your haven after a long night. Right before you open the door, you notice something strange. A sound of television coming from your apartment. Madman, if you're not mistaken. You open the door and carefully peek in. A young disheveled woman is curled up on your sofa. She has pulled a blanket on top of her and she seems very comfortable. Next to her lies an obviously unconscious preppy female.
Oh, you're home?
The woman reaches for the remote and puts Madman on pause.
You weren't home, so I started without you. You know, Netflix and chill. Join me, there's a space on the sofa. I brought us a snack. You enjoyed it the last time.
The man points lazily to the unconscious girl.
Oh, I forgot, my name is Adelaide. Adelaide Davis. I like you a lot. Help yourself and settle in.
Let her down gently, fit an opportunity Netflix chill. Okay, I'd rather not. Ask her to leave. I mean, I am very much against this, since this is creepy as hell, but at this point I'm a little too curious about all this. She has been stalking me for a while, and just letting her out roughly would probably end up bad for me in the long run. So... I just feel like if I kick her out, it's gonna bite me in the ass later on. Adelaide makes space on the sofa as you sit down between her and the unconscious mortal. You lean to drink from the girl as Adelaide uses the remote to turn Madman back on. The girl moans sleepily as you drink from her, but doesn't wake. Her blood tastes pleasant and unhurried, a far cry from the adrenaline of blood you get by hunting a victim who knows you're coming. As you lick the girl's wounds closed and sit back on the sofa, Adelaide lies down and rests her head in your lap. I never allowed this.
Isn't this nice?
Missed this? I've always liked Madman. I never wanted this. I just wanted to figure out what the hell's going on. I didn't say accept all this. Let's go with this. I've always liked that Madman.
I didn't. Me too. It reminds me of another life, long ago. Even if it wasn't quite like we put in the show, I remember more blood and screams.
We watched the show together, taking small sips from a human every now and then. Isn't she gonna die? You didn't know vampires could spend time like this. The door to your apartment opens. Your mind is elsewhere and you react slowly. Sophie strides into your living room. Oh, thank God, yeah, save me, please. I don't want to ask you for it. My character is not gonna ask for this, but thank you, Sophie. She has a key to your haven and never bothers to knock, of course.
You're checking up with Adelaide Davis, the scourge of Snug Harbor in the flesh. This is a new low for you, fledgling. I'm embarrassed for you, really. Perhaps I should not be surprised.
Yeah, this is just pathetic. Adelaide, you better go. Adelaide glances at Sophie and gives you a quick kiss on the cheek. Sophie sighs. Adelaide leaves the room, making sure to give as wide a berth to Sophie as possible. Sophie waits for the door of the apartment to sound before she speaks.
The Clan of the Moon. Did I not advise caution when dealing with them?
I tried! I didn't get a proper option! As you watch, Sophie makes a phone call. 10 minutes later, 2 of her servants arrive to take out an unconscious girl sprawled on your sofa.
You clearly need my help. It won't happen tonight, but let me see if I can resolve your stalker problem for real.
Oh, thank you. Oh God, Sophie, seriously. If she's gonna turn out to be evil, I'm gonna be so upset. You'll have to wonder what Sophie meant by that as she leaves your haven. Was that the whole day? Seriously? That was fast. That was like, what, 10 minutes? No, that's not long enough. You've had enough of Adelaide Davis. It's time to head for Elysium and confront her with Sophie on your side. Yeah, let's do that. Visiting Elysium with Sophie is always a humbling experience. She's connected, well-known, and important. You're a nobody. You've always known this, of course, but it's especially apparent when you come in with her. Everyone notices her, and she drinks it in like it's her birthright.
That's Adelaide Davis. Let's go say hello.
You spot the woman Sophie is referring to. Adelaide, your stalker. Intense, disheveled, young-looking. Emil Kevin, if you understood correctly. I'm not 100% sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. As you approach, Adelaide smiles at you, darting a look of distaste towards Sophie.
Don't worry, I don't judge people by the company they keep. That's sweet of you, darling. Let me say this straight. You can't keep doing what you've been doing. You have to leave my poor ward alone.
Adelaide looks from Sophie to you and giggles. The sound must be rare in Elysium because it makes people glance toward you.
I know she's making you do this. Don't worry, we'll be together again later.
I already have someone. Let's stay friends. Let's do a normal date next time. Let's stay friends. I'm not ready for a romantic relationship with you, Adelaide. Let's stay friends instead.
That's fine. Don't worry, we can stay friends. Friends who kiss and watch Mad Men together.
Please, I'm not ready for romance. Stop pushing love story on me. Get all of those answers are kinda cringy. I guess I'll go with the middle one.
Oh, you're such a tease, but I get it. I can wait. We're immortals. The years pass, but the feelings we have for each other are precious.
I have no feelings for you, baby.
You should know that I'll always be there somewhere. Invisible in the night.
Sophie chuckles as Adelaide walks away.
I suppose that went as well as it can be expected. It seems you have a guardian angel. Have fun.
Oh. And Sophie steps away to chat with her friends as you feel lonely. Karma? Surrounded by kin that you're not sure anymore anyone can really help you navigate this bizarre social environment. Okay, at least that wasn't the whole night this time. So I really don't get many options now. Still, where the hell is Tamika in all this? I know she's recovering, but I would like to at least visit her. Let's go with that one instead. As you make your way down to Chilton Street, the innocent hum of traffic gives way to ominous silence of the waterfront. You stop to take in the familiar bouquet of a Hudson, made all the more potent by your recently sharpened senses. Across the basin, the Red Hook grain terminal rears its rusty frame, once a bustling industrial area, now a sleeping giant, splayed out on the riverbank, forgotten, abandoned. Conveniently so, especially for one of the hidden. Keeping into the shadows, you sneak closer to the dilapidated complex, making your way past the hole-ridden silos and wobbly chain-link fences. Not the most pleasant place to look at. Still, quite a nice, painting. By the time you reach the entrance to the main building, you can almost feel the rust particles making themselves cozy at the back of your throat. God, it feels like the pop filter is scratching my nose. It's really inconvenient. I keep scratching it. Not getting your hopes up, you give the door a slight nudge. To your surprise, it gives almost instantly. Looks like someone's been using it recently. Once inside, you find yourself in a large empty hall. Looking around, you can almost picture it back in its heyday, stacked to rafters with heavy machinery. You notice a set of stairs leading up to the mezzanine, most likely an office space. Then you see it, a faint light coming from one of the upper rooms. Looks like you're in luck. Quietly, with bated breath, you climb the steps and approach the dimly lit room. The door creaks open, revealing what looks like an old-timey detective office, complete with crooked window blinds and an overflowing ashtray, and paper scattered across a wooden desk. Suddenly it hits you, that nagging feeling. This is all too convenient, too inviting. Before you can react, the trap is already sprung. A plume of cigar smoke wafts over your shoulder. The barrel of a gun rubs against your spine. A raspy voice whispers in your ear.
Let me guess. Took your own turn at the third silo.
Time to talk down the assailant. Rush the assailant. Honestly, I would be like, okay, I'm not looking for trouble. I'm here to help Kadir. Attempt to talk down the assailant. Yeah, let's go with that. You decide to play along. Raising your arms slowly, you weigh your next words carefully. You're pretty sure a bullet to the back wouldn't kill you, but it doesn't sound too pleasant either. So, this isn't Bloodsuckers Anonymous? Let's not do anything rash. How about we talk like civilized kindred?
How about you lower your gun so we can talk like civilized kindred?
Oh, I'm plenty civilized, see?
You can feel a barrel digging deeper into your back.
Double action carbon steel frame, the finest handgun in your hard on money can buy. Doesn't get much more civilized than that.
What about shooting someone in the back? You know, Bruja doesn't talk that much, so fuck it. Fine, have it your way. Your elbow shoots out like a jackhammer, aiming straight for the gunman's face, but only in smoke. Looking back, you catch but a glimpse of your assailant as he literally dissolves into shadows. Master's quick, you gotta give him that. You tense up, ready to dodge whatever's coming, but instead of a shot, a voice rings out from the darkness. Try as you might, you can't tell where it's coming from, as it echoes across the room.
Easy there, kid. I don't want to spoil that nice suit of yours. Tell you what, I like a guy who can take care of himself, so I'll give you a chance to explain your unfortunate visit. Better make it count, though. You get one shot of this, and then it gets on.
In a strange interplay of light and shadow, a stranger reappears behind his desk. Seeing him in his full, for lack of a better word, glory, you can't help but smirk. This is the dreaded Nosferatu. The way Sophie described him, you were expecting some grotesque monstrosity, but this guy, clothes with swagger, with hard-boiled detective routine, it all comes across as a bad joke. Still, when it comes to appearance, his lineage is undeniable. From 30 feet away, he could probably pass for a bum with a nasty skin condition. From 5 feet away, he looks like something made to be seen from 30 feet away. He leans back in his chair, casually pointing his gun at you.
So, what brings you to my humble office?
Let me just take a look at you. Honestly, I don't see any Nosferatu features. And I don't really remember any vampires having facial hair now when I think about it. That's kinda weird. I'm looking for a Nosferatu. Are you D'Angelo? Red Hook Murders? Let's get straight to the point. I'm here about the Red Hook Murders.
Yeah, that. Nasty business. What's it got to do with me?
A lot if you ask Kadir. A lot apparently, at least Kadir seems to think so. His expression sours.
Not a name you want to casually toss around, kid. But hey, I'll get it. You're not some random schmuck who wandered in here off the street. So let's get on to the nitty-gritty. My name's D'Angelo. Jean to my friends. So you can call me D'Angelo.
I like that.
Who I work for is less important. What I'm working on, however.
Isn't going so well, so let me help. Yeah, let's go with that. Isn't going so well, I think you could use some help. He gives you a look what's dirty even by Nosferatu standards. Oh, we're writing on this, I like it.
Well, ain't you clever?
D'Angelo lowers his shades. For a few seconds he sits motionless with his eyes fixed on yours. Suddenly he raises his gun, almost making you flinch. Almost. Then he throws it into his shoulder holster. In a flashy display what definitely looks like it was practiced. A lot. In front of a mirror. I'd like to see that. You see Nosferatu lips move, but a quiet mumbling clearly isn't meant for your ears. Listening in, you're able to catch snippets of his monologue.
Sure, they seem to care. What was the end game? What was the angle? Everybody's got one, even if they pretend like they don't. Especially then. What the hell? Maybe it's time finally got to me.
He pauses, sticks a fresh cigar between his crooked teeth.
Maybe a good leap of faith is just what the doctor ordered.
You offer him a light.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Just play along. As he reaches into his pocket, you flash a little lighter before his eyes. Or maybe you could use a healthy dose of unhealthy. God damn it, I ruined the quote. Okay. Or maybe you could use a healthy dose of unhealthy. For a split second he gives you a puzzled look. Then he leans over to your lighter, puffing on the cig as it catches fire. A wry smile comes back to his lips.
You're like a kid. You might look like a used car salesman, but there's just something about you. Tell you what, I was just about to head back to a crime scene. Take a look around and refresh my notes. You can tag along if you want to. I could use an assistant. Someone to take notes and make wild assumptions for me to shoot down. Who knows, if you're any good, I might consider making this a long-term arrangement.
Sounds good, you won't regret it. What are we waiting for?
Just one more thing. You got me at a disadvantage here. Seems like you've done some digging on me, but if you, I barely scratched the surface. You catch my drift? So answer me this. Who was it what sent you into my neck of woods? Or in layman's terms, who do you work for?
Sophie Langley. For the first time since he got here, Nosferatu adopts a look of genuine surprise. His eyes wander for a moment, finally giving way to a crooked smile.
So you're the one, huh? A fledgling Roger Dame Spade. Yeah, that would make sense. Don't think she'd appreciate you throwing her name around. Thanks for being upfront, kid.
I don't see any reason to actually hide that. One blink is enough for you to miss the angels vanishing from a chair. Just when you're about to look around, he appears right next to you. Up close, his smile is even more unnerving. You know what would be nice? If it zoomed in on his face. A small thing, but it would have been a cool change of pace.
Alright, moonlight's burning, let's get cracking.
With a certain fascination, you watch the angel stumble his way across West Brooklyn. Oddly animated, innocent scratching his face and neck, just like me with my nose right now. Stopping every once in a while for a bout of mumbling narration, he is most certainly a sight to behold. Well, that's one way to put it. Still, he seems to be getting around okay, and you take a particular note of the fact that he seems to be choosing the darker, less frequented streets. There's definitely a method to his madness. Eventually, your leprous guide takes a sudden turn off of Van Brunt Street into a particularly dingy alleyway. The torn pieces of yellow police tape are dead giveaway. This has to be the place.
Well, here we are. Time to earn your stripes. This is where they found him. There ain't drawing not a drop of blood in him. And before you ask, no, I didn't get to see the body, so I don't know if there were any bite marks. So, what can you tell me?
You take a moment to examine the crime scene. Judging by the chalk outline on the pavement, the man was killed recently. Curiously, there doesn't appear to be a trace of blood or viscera, and you know the city's cleanup crew isn't that fast or that thorough. That fast. It's been a week. Or, now when I think about it, it might have been actually more than a week. Looking up, you notice a spray-painted sign on the wall. It reads, "The blood speaks." "The blood speaks," in a big, crooked letters. You look to D'Angelo when Nosferatu gives you an expectant look. The graffiti looks like a clue. Well, no shit, Sherlock. How come there's no blood? You're a detective, you told me. I wonder if that's a good option, actually. At the moment, I think he likes the law of me, so giving some stupid assumptions might be a good idea. So let's go with this, actually. You point at the spray-painted sign. That looks like a clue.
Sure, kid. Might as well start with an elephant in the room. What do you think it means?
You give a sign a good hard look. It's no Rembrandt. The writing is jagged, clearly done in a hurry. It seems desperate. It meant to throw us off. What do you mean by desperate? Let's go with that. Nothing, it's meant to throw us off.
Yeah, I can see why you think that, but look at how crooked the letter are. Barely legible. You can fake something like that.
I think you can.
Someone was there in the office, very scared. It definitely meant something to them. And then there's the blood, luck very off. And given what the murder was committed right here, and the victim didn't make a sound, we can therefore conclude that
Killer isn't kindred? Killer used a sedative? What lunatic uses a sedative and then just drains the blood but doesn't leave any on the scene? Yeah, it's kindred, it's obvious.
Bingo, only kindred could drain a human this quickly, this quietly. Tell me, if you were to guess, which clan would you say our killer belongs to?
Finnbloods? I don't even know about that yet. Nobody mentioned Finnbloods up to this point. Malkavians. Blood speaks, yeah, and does seem like a good option. Tremere. Might be, actually. Let me just take a quick look. God, it's so slow. Haven, Coterie, Child, Clan Tremere. Mages, yes, that's the one I was thinking of, exactly. Finnbloods are generally not very hostile to humans. They attack if we have to, but they aren't They aren't that kind of people. Malkavians could be, but they would probably leave more clues, so we won't go after Tremere. Wait, aren't Tremere known as blood sorcerers? This was probably some fucked up ritual of theirs. The warlocks do tend to get creepy at times, though they're not exactly the Manson family. It's just not their style. I'll be jumping to conclusions about my money's on the Thin Bloods. Huh. Why? He pauses, spits out a mangled remain of cigar. Also, yeah, I should probably check what Thin Bloods are. Vampires with blood so diluted they retain many human traits. The Thin Bloods are invariably clanless, survivors of the last decades of pogroms, prejudice and ostracization. Their numbers now swell, their massive street alchemy and ability to pass as humans makes them uniquely suited to thrive outside kindred society and make their own fate in the postmodern nights. The Thin-blooded can be of any mortal origin and are not affected by the parent clan curse, nor by their preference in the same degree as their sire. In 2009, the Inner Circle of Camarilla issued an edict that all Thin-blooded must be branded or tattooed with a mark of a crescent moon, inked by the Tremere tattoo artist or scorched with a beam of sunlight. The brand is irreversible. Many kindred still view the Thin-bloods as a threat to a masquerade. Weaklings, runoffs, or abortions, and will destroy them if given a chance. Those who don't despise the Thin-bloods tend to call them the young ones, chameleons or duskborns. Basically, not very vampiric vampires. Shit, looks like we're gonna have to pay Lawson a visit. Who? Who's Lawson? Jeez, you're really on into this. Lawson? As in Robert Lawson? A Thin-blood primogen? Thin-blood get a primogen? I didn't know that. Not sure if he knows who the killer is, but he could probably make an educated guess. In any case, we'd be doing him a favour. If it turns out that one of his is warless in a masquerade, it would put him in a hell of an awkward position, and I mean shitting upside down awkward. It's the kind of weakness of our primogen would love to exploit. His position in the council is bad as it is. Wait, is that the guy who everyone hates? Hold up. Lineage, Blood Moon, Regent, Sheriff Kine. It's just terms and not the characters. He pauses, blah blah blah. He pauses for a moment and mumbles to himself, but it's too quiet for you to make out. Finally, he lights up a fresh cigar. He takes a puff and lets the smoke escape through his crooked smile. Alright, kid, let's get this all with. Compared to the industrial ugliness of Red Hook, Sterling Place is quite a change of scenery. Damn, I still can't get over how beautiful it is. Heavily gentrified and pleasantly dull, the residential area emanates a sort of peaceful apathy that rich hipsters scoff at and blue-collar workers dream of. All of a sudden, when Serato stops, it almost seems like he was taking a deep breath, steeling himself for things to come. But vampires don't breathe. This is the place. With that, he points to a surprisingly nice-looking two-story house. The place is almost completely dark. Almost. You notice a dim light shining through the curtains of an upper-story window. It's probably safe to assume that the head of a family is working late, especially if the head of a family happens to be a vampire. You kid, you gotta be gentle about this. I'm talking velvet gloves, soft cushions, your aim, my lord gentle. We need to get lost in out here. Without making any fuss or letting his family see us. If we blow this, he'll shut down like a speakeasy on a raid night. Trust me, I know. I wonder if he's supposed to have a New York accent. So, it sounds like you two have some history. Let's get to it. What's the plan? What's the plan? Okay, so what's the plan? Tell you what, how about you take a lead on this one? I'm curious to see how you handle it. And what if I blow it? It'll be your ass on the line as well. You take a step back and look around the area. We lit up windows. Seems like a safe bet, but it's just getting a matter of Larson attention. His and no one else's. As you're trying to come up with a viable strategy, you're suddenly startled by a loud noise. Takes you a second to identify the sound as a dog barking. Doesn't take you long to figure out where it came from as a bearded man leading a Rottweiler on a leash comes into view. I'm not hungry though. Yeah, I don't see any blood. Throw a small ring in the rock in the window. I feel like I might piss someone off if I feed right now. Ringing the doorbell would draw more attention. especially since it might wake him up. Throwing a rock is such a cliché thing to do, but it does seem like the best option out of three of those. You kneel down and pick a rock off a lawn, one small enough to not break a glass, but big enough to get someone's attention. Deftly check the rock at the window. It bounces off the glass with a quiet but audible thunk. Moments pass in silence, making you think no one got your message. Just as you start to look for another rock, you hear a window slide open. A very unassuming and slightly shaven man in a turtleneck appears at the window. As soon as he notices you, his expression sours like he just smelled something rotten. Well, it's not surprising. He addresses your Nosferatu partner in what could only be described as a very loud and very angry whisper.
Get the fuck off my lawn, D'Angelo! You know goddamn better than to show your ugly mug around here.
You glance over to D'Angelo. He looks somewhat embarrassed, scratching at the back of his neck, clearly trying to find the right angle to play this. Don't interfere. You decide to sit this one out. D'Angelo seems to know the guy well. He should know which strings to pull.
Hey Lawson, long time no see. Sorry about the bother. My new assistants could get a little too enthusiastic.
Yo, what? For fuck's sake, D'Angelo, are you still with that ludicrous roleplay?
D'Angelo lowers his voice ever so slightly. It's subtle but telling. Last words clearly got to him.
Listen man, you know me well enough. I wouldn't have come if it wasn't important.
Larson closes his eyes and takes a long deep breath. When he speaks again, his voice is calmer, if not much friendlier.
Stay where you are.
You wait out in the lawn, listening to Larson quietly making his way downstairs. Before long, he appears on the porch, locking the front door behind him. He motions at you to follow him to the side of the house. There, he turns toward you.
What do you want?
It's about the Red Hook murders. We think one of yours is responsible.
Bullshit. Duskborn got enough trouble just staying alive out there. What could possibly make them openly violate the masquerade?
Desperation. The killer's been leaving messages. Wherever they are, I think they know something. Something they can't share with just anyone. I know it seems far-fetched, but it's the only way this puzzle fits together.
Nah, I don't buy it. You're reaching, trying to find a scapegoat. Get it in your boss's good graces. What gets around you, Angela? You think I don't know who you're working for?
And help us clear your name. Figures you'd cover for one your own. What if we stop asking politely? I'm not trying to piss him off, and let us help clear your name. Your people's name. What have you got to lose?
Everything. I've been a thorn on the council's side for a while now. This is just an excuse they need to get rid of me.
One of it turns out one of yours did it, and you sat on your hands to protect him. You think the council won't jump at that?
He looks off into the darkness, pondering his options. He lets out a heavy sigh.
Look, I'll ask around. Consult my sources. If it turns out one of my own is responsible, then they will face justice. In the meantime, keep your deduction to yourself. I have enough troubles as it is.
Deal.
Good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to my family.
And with that, Larson retreats to the elusive safety of his home. You decide it's best to move along. You walk a couple of blocks in utter silence. Even D'Angelo mumbling seems to have taken a back seat. Oddly enough, you find his newfound reticence somewhat unnerving. Finally, Nosferatu stops and turns toward you.
Hell of a night. I don't know about you, kid, but I could use a drink. Something warm in a tall, sweaty glass. At first, let me settle your score. Let's see now. Right off the bat, you resorted to what we call in the biz called bullshit physicals. It's sometimes necessary, but generally frowned upon. You had your own in a crime scene, nothing I hadn't figured out on my own, but hey, we can't all be professionals. For only when the situation called for subtlety, you managed to avoid your unwanted attention. Discretion is what separates a probable dick from just any old dick. Oh no, you did fine. Not fine, but not bad for your first case. Don't let it get to your head. I'll be in touch. Let you know if I hear from Larson. Be ready to meet me at the office.
He starts to walk away, but suddenly stops and turns back toward you.
And breathing oath, bud. Every good assistant should have one.